A right-to-work law secures the right of employees to decide for themselves whether or not to join or financially support a union. Do you support or oppose right-to-work legislation in New Hampshire, and why?
I would support it. I believe strongly that this issue is an important issue to make sure that there is choice and individuals have their own personal individual rights of employment. When I was commissioner, and I'll give you an example, we had a 60% fair share, it was called, limit, where if you hit 60%, every state employee had to pay union dues and join the union. And as commissioner, I was told that I had to enforce that. Well, I told Governor Lynch that, I'm sorry, Governor, you want to send the notice to my employees? You send the notice. Because I was not going to instruct my employees that they had to join a union. I remember having a young lady and also a person that worked at the counter come to tell me that it was going to be $500 a year out of their check, and there was an issue that she was very concerned. So I don't believe in the compulsory issues. I believe in individual rights, and I believe that we need to get back to making sure we do, working with state employees, like I did, sitting at the table, and getting back to doing what's right for the people of this state. If we have a $800 million projected deficit, and I believe it's close to that point going forward, they're going to have to be part of this solution. And it's not going to be about more spending. It's got to be about finding ways to stop the out-of-control growth of spending and to stop the government growth that's hurting every single man, woman, and child in this state. So that's what we need to do. Focus on finding efficiency, modernization, spending cuts, and cutting taxes, and return more power to the great people of this state.
Thank you, John. Karen?
Well, right to work. We passed the right to work law several years ago. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. And our governor at the time, who happened to be a Republican, vetoed it. I would not veto a right to work law. I do not believe that if any businessman should be compelled or employee should be forced to hire or to pay for union dues that they do not choose to pay for. They should not be forced to pay for, just like you should not be forced to pay for a charity through your government that you do not support. Every time the government takes one of your tax dollars and puts it towards an organization and a belief system that is not what you support, they have just removed from you your right, and you've lost one of your freedoms. We need to encourage people to exercise every freedom that they have in any way possible. It's not their money to spend. That's what's wrong with the current legislature is that they are out there spending somebody else's money, and they don't care who or how much you have to work or how much your business has to provide in order for them to spend what they want to spend. That's what our problem is in this state. And we do need to have a right to work law where you are allowed to spend your money where you see fit. And our employers are not forced to hire someone at a vetted price so that they can do what they find is most efficient for their business, not be told how much to do and how much to say and how much to pay for something. It totally is not common sense. It destroys the incentive of businesses to grow and to get started in the first place. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Frank, same question.
Okay. I've been a Teamster, longshoreman, SEA, 6 years on the board of directors as a Republican, negotiating team for the union side for the state, and I voted for Craig Benson, and I tried to get him involved, that we got a message through to SEA what his plan was. I was also the state labor chairman for the state of New Hampshire GOP because I was a member of the union, and I was also President George W. Bush's state labor chairman. With that said, I've been union and I've been out of union. Right to work. If you go into a job and somebody negotiated a contract and said, we get X amount of dollars to do this, and we get these days, fine. then you should either make your decision right then and there, either you join the union or not, because someone negotiated a contract and went through a hell of a lot of work to get it done. With that said, if you don't want the job, go somewhere else. That's right to work. I'm from New York. I don't like that in New York, I had to pay to work in the city of New York City. Just like you, if you're here, you have to pay to work in Massachusetts. That's a disgrace. With SEA, which is Service Employees International, and I want you to know, nobody from New Hampshire went down and booed anybody. But lots of people from SEIU supported a man by the name of Scott Brown. So understand what it's about. When you say union dues for fair share, not true. Fair share is this. You work for the state. We negotiate the contract. We meaning the union. Not me, but the union. And when you negotiate the contract, just pay your fair share towards that. Not union dues. If you want to join the union and have a voice, which you should do, then you pay a little bit more. So with that said, that's what fair share is. Now, so you know, RSA, it says that only one bargaining unit can defend or negotiate a contract for all state employees. So you need to change that. Stop blaming people.
Thank you, Frank. Jack, same question.
This is the United States of America. Nobody should be forced to join a union.
Please hold your applause.
I got to tell you, this is near and dear to my heart, and I've been out front on this the entire campaign. I personally have seen enough. I've had many union folks come to me. A lot of them are teachers, but across the board, and secretly talk to me. And I mean many, probably in the area of 20 or more. And they're very unhappy. They're unhappy because it's now become about the union. The school teachers, they're telling me point blank, it's not about the kids. It's about the union. So I'm absolutely in favor, and I would absolutely sign a right-to-work bill, and have said so all along, and that's the way I think it ought to be. And I'm going to go one step further. State unions and state union dues, that's our money. All of us pay for their jobs. I do not agree that state unions should be backing political candidates in either party with our money. That's wrong. Clearly you know where I stand. Thank you very much.